What is up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Franca and I'm glad you're here. Of course, today again, we are going over the Justin Baldoni vs. Blake Lively lawsuit. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Still, during the pre-production phase, Lively and Reynolds raised entirely false allegations of fat-shaming against Baldoni, an accusation that, as evidence will show, was categorically false. Baldoni had been introduced to trainer Dawn, who became Baldoni's personal trainer, by Lively. Dawn directed Baldoni's preparation for the film role, including his nutrition and exercise, making special accommodations for Baldoni's back injury. Baldoni even paid to receive Dawn's meal delivery service. Alright, so we have messages from Dawn and Justin Baldoni. Dawn says, "Okay, speak later. I can get you a program this week." Justin says, "Sure, just got to New York City for the day." "Hey bud, tried ya." Dawn says, "Call you in a few." Baldoni says, "Cool, standing by." And then he sends the program thing. And then Dawn also says, "Here you go, 4 things. 1. The jumps are to be low intensity, and this is to improve performance. Go 50% intensity for the first few weeks. 2. Let's sub the dead stop rows for chest-supported rows. 3. Stay out of lumbar extension. Your lower back should not arch. 4. Week 1 should be 70 to 80% intensity. Do not push and add the cardio like we discussed." Dawn says, "Let's jump on a call after you review." Justin says, "Amazing, can't wait to check it out, thank you." Privately, Baldoni reached out to Dawn as his personal trainer to ask what Lively weighed so that he could train his back muscles in preparation for the lift scene. This was important to avoid injury not only to Baldoni, who suffered from lifelong back injuries, multiple bulging discs, and chronic pain, but also to Lively if the lift could not be completed successfully and safely. Notwithstanding Lively's recent attempt to deny the existence of any such scene, it was only nixed at her insistence after being planned and rehearsed. That's what I find weird, is like, I assume this guy is the trainer who has been with Lively through other roles. And upon looking at like Lively's past interviews, she does mention her trainer a lot. I think when she did the Shallows, she was saying she had to lose baby weight like really soon after having a baby. And she didn't seem to have an issue with that, which like could be completely fine because she probably knew the role she was signing up for. She was supposed to be an athletic type. And what I find weird is that she like sourced this trainer for Justin. Like, "Hey, like I have a really good trainer, like here he is." And I feel like that's a little bit weird because why would your trainer need to also train Baldoni? Like, there's really no need for that. And I have heard things about people saying like Lively and Blake and Ryan were trying to like insert themselves into every part of this film. And that I feel like that could be used as like one part of trying to insert themselves into everything Justin was doing by having their well-renowned trainer that they've had for a really long time work with him and then relay all the information that Justin tells him to them. I found it a little weird. The next morning, Baldoni was summoned to the penthouse by Lively and greeted by Reynolds, who swore at Baldoni and accused him of fat-shaming his wife. "How dare you effing ask about my wife's weight? What's wrong with you?" By all means, I feel like Justin had a right to discuss ways to train his body, but I feel like he could have asked it differently than being like, "How much does Blake weigh?" You know what I mean? Like, it could have been the wording that screwed that up. The confrontation from Reynolds and Lively was so aggressive that Baldoni felt he had no choice but to offer repeated and completely unwarranted apologies for what was a good faith and reasonable question to ask of his trainer. Reynolds demanded Baldoni remove the scene entirely. Lively refused to perform the lift scene in the end, even after it was rehearsed with a stunt double. In her own complaint, Lively flat out lies about the absence of this scene by claiming the scene wasn't in the film. The only reason the scene wasn't in the film is because Lively and Reynolds ensured it would be taken out of the film. Which I find weird, because why in your complaint would you say, yeah, that no such scene was ever filmed? When you knew, like, I feel like they could have proof of that. Like, Justin Seams could be like, here it is in the sheet that we were supposed to do today, and Lively completely said no thank you. Accommodating Lively, Baldoni rewrote the scene with Lively despite the fact that for creative reasons, the scene was important to him as a storyteller and director. In fact, Lively had earlier expressed insecurity about her postpartum figure, and Baldoni made every attempt to genuinely reassure her. In this exchange, he stated, as her director, that anything you feel insecure about, we will talk through and get creative together and make you comfortable. I just don't want you to stress about your body. It's the last thing you need. When he later tried to do just that, Lively responded with allegations of sex harassment followed by a lawsuit. And then messages from Blake and Justin. Blake says, kicking ASS, but it's still a ton of work with not a ton of time. What's the chance we can do body scenes at the end of the schedule? Justin says, I'm sure you are. Honestly, there's 1 billion moving parts to schedule right now, so I just turned in the rewrite and they are hard at work. So much of it comes down to locations and other cast availability, etc. So to be really honest, I have no clue. Justin says, I want you to know you look amazing. Anything you are insecure about, we will talk through and get creative together and make you comfortable. I just don't want you to stress about your body. It's the last thing you need. As soon as I have a rough schedule that's even remotely accurate, I'll share and I'll make sure the team keeps this in mind as well. Blake says, thank you for your voice memo. It is deeply appreciated. You are everything you promised to be as a collaborator. Thank you. I know my job here, and this piece is in a big part of my job here. We both understand the assignment as actors in the roles, but also as producers and also as marketers. We understand artistically, yes, but we get what we need to do in all aspects of this movie commercially. As woke as we both are, that's the first time I've ever seen someone use like woke intentionally in their everyday life. As woke as we both are and work to be, this movie requires a certain aesthetic. It's part of the job that we both excitedly signed up for. I don't shy away from it because it's not problematic. It's the assignment. Like when someone is about to start an athletic event, it's their job to be in top shape. My husband and I both look at certain roles as athletic events, and this is one of them. It's not always a part of the job, but on this one it is. And that's great. As much as I'd love to not think about it, that would be irresponsible and also impossible because it's unrealistic to acknowledge what I need to do. This is my job here, and I meet my responsibilities with extreme hard work ethic. I look for solutions to achieve my high goals instead of lowering my goals. We all win when we're each firing at our highest capabilities. You and I both are. And will continue to. I just need as much time as possible because I just had my 4th baby. I understand that you'll never personally know all the nuances of the challenges unless you live this physical moment in time I'm in with this physical road ahead. So having your understanding and support to help me pull this off is critical and very, very appreciated. Not just to my experience now, but also healing from experiences past. So thank you. We are gonna KIL it and be so fit they have to Lola us to look less banging. What? Lively then delivered an ultimatum. If Baldoni could not get on board with her work methods, he had 2 weeks to recast her. Implicit in this ultimatum was a threat to destroy Baldoni's reputation and career. As Lively well knew, Baldoni had worked hard through his career to earn and deserve a reputation based on his passionate advocacy for women's rights, a reputation she would later exploit and weaponize against him. If Lively were to back out of the film, especially based on accusations of fat shaming, Baldoni's reputation and life's work would be left in tatters. He had no choice but to bow down to Lively and Reynolds' demands. Concerns about Lively's undue influence over the film began to grow even before filming started. This is a producer to Jamie. Producer says he cannot let her have opinions on everything. Jamie says, Blake, ? Producer says, or she's going to be co-directing this film. Producer says, yes. Producer says, or she's going to be co-directing this film. Yes. Jamie says, yeah, we were talking about that a lot yesterday. Producer, exactly. This is why everyone is starting to lose it. We've been talking about the same thing for months. Jamie says, yep, it's starting to get resolved. Producer says, no, it's not. This was the first time Lively openly moved to seize control of the film from Baldoni, but it would not be the last. Principal photography began for the film in early May 2023. On set, Lively continued to maintain what later appeared to be a facade of a close, caring relationship with Baldoni, even as she continued to make escalating demands for creative control. By the time production began, Lively and Blake worked closely together for months, and Lively expressed warm gratitude for her collaboration with Baldoni on the eve of filming. From Blake to Justin. This note means so much to me. I'm excited to start tomorrow, but it's only one piece of the journey. We started months ago, and I'm so grateful for all we've built so far. Thank you for caring so much and for putting every bit of you into showing it. You've given so much of your time to fight for great, and that hasn't gone unappreciated or unseen for a moment. Throughout the first filming period, Lively continued to share her open and unguarded thoughts on life and her character. She talked about wardrobe choices that made her character much sexier. From Blake to Justin, we'll show you both ways, but Beanie is much sexier. It's the look. Feels TV without. especially with a crop top in the snow. It justifies the rest of the skin. And also is a girl I would check out walking down the street because it washes the effort off the rest of the look. Lively continued to express her warm appreciation and respect for Baldoni as filming continued, even as she acknowledged she could be difficult and critical of others, using the kind of language she herself would have alleged to be inappropriate. Justin says, I'm not going to tell you that you were amazing because you teased me for being so sentimental, but you were amazing today. Blake says, thank you. I do appreciate it. I'm just a ball buster, but it means a lot to me. I care a great deal and always want to deliver. You were terrific. I'm proud of everything we did today, but really every day. Justin Baldoni loved the message and said thank you. And then in the little footnotes, it goes, Lively's use of the word ballbuster would certainly have made it on her 17-point list had it been Baldoni who said it. Lively's intimate comfort with Baldoni continued as filming progressed. In June of 23, after the alleged harassment and uncomfortable situations allegedly occurred, she even invited Baldoni to her trailer to rehearse while pumping breast milk. Blake says, I'm just pumping in my trailer if you want to work out our lines. Lively was close and comfortable with Baldoni that she freely breastfed in front of him during meetings. She took photos of him holding and soothing her crying baby in her penthouse. They laughed deliriously during late-night writing sessions. All of these events took place after the alleged sex harassment. Lively's accusations seemed to come out of the blue. She even knew his tea order. Stop. Justin to Blake. En route to you, can I get you anything? Blake says to Justin, no, all good. Thank you, though. I'm getting you a hot matcha, and do you know what Brandon likes? Lively herself set the tone for personal discussions on set, including what language was acceptable. For example, on one occasion while filming a restaurant scene, Lively sat on the floor in painfully expensive shoes while discussing with a group of male cast and crew how sexy her shoes were. Lively had no issue using the word sexy herself, but apparently took note both times Baldoni had said the word in her presence. Though she was loose and relaxed in her speech on set, she was increasingly stringent in the demands she imposed on the production. She rewrote her own dialogue constantly and took it upon herself to make unlateral changes to other characters' lines, effectively rewriting the script day by day. This pattern of domineering interference caused unending interruptions to the production process, leading to entirely unnecessary stress, chaos, and delays. It was well documented on film footage how frequently she requested changes, and how at every turn Baldoni took her thoughts, and out of fear of repercussions from Lively and her allies, he constantly tried to accommodate them. On May 2nd, 2023, the Writers Guild of America went on strike. Production on the film halted temporarily on June 4th, 2023, due to WGA picketing. The next day, the production was notified that WGA had agreed not to picket their set, allowing production to continue. But Lively was already gone and refused to return to the production immediately. Wayfair reworked the shooting schedule at a great expense to the film scenes with the younger versions of the characters instead of footage requiring Lively. On June 27, 2023, production shut down entirely for the pendency of the strike. The SGA-AFTRA strike soon followed, beginning July 14, 2023. To make the most of the time during the strike, Baldoni began editing the footage that had been captured to date, starting the director's process of turning footage into film. Lively expressed excitement over returning to the shoot in the fall in New York, making no mention of any discomfort or harassment that would be brought up only later, after months of being apart on the day the strike ended. Both before and during the strikes, Lively's eager involvement in the production took on a more insistent and manipulative tone, as she asked for access to the dailies and early cuts of the scenes, both inappropriate and unorthodox requests. Blake to Justin, hey, would you mind giving me access to dailies? What even are dailies? I have no idea. Let me know if you know what they are. And I'm curious which takes you liked of the scenes you showed. Blank. My manager, blank, flew out to visit set and leaves tomorrow a.m. He heard all about it from Warren, and I'd love to show him. I appreciate you may be too slammed right now to make this happen, but maybe someone else can facilitate? Thanks so much. Dailies refers to raw footage of what was filmed that day, including the many takes. Oh! Tells you exactly what dailies is at the bottom. I thought it was like a daily task sheet. Blake to Justin, hey, I hope you and your family are well. I watched the selects you sent. So great. I was so happy and energized. Such solid work from everyone on and off camera. It was really cool to see. We were working so quickly, there was never the time to look back, so it was nice to revisit from the audience's perspective. Please let me know who to reach out to get access to the full gallery of dailies. I'm looking forward to seeing all we have in the can. And of course, any scenes you cut together, I'd love to see. Hope you're having a good summer and hopefully a good edit. Will your assembly be done soon? X. Wayfair and Baldoni and another producer on the film strategized how to respond to Lively, which became common practice so as not to trigger backlash from Lively. The text exchange below demonstrates adamant objections to giving Lively the dailies. Not only was it an inappropriate overreach, there was a very real concern that a simple ask, such as rewriting a couple scenes, would turn into a complete takeover, i.e. rewriting the script. They rightfully feared that giving her the dailies could turn into her demanding to edit the whole movie, which is exactly what ultimately happened. So we have some text of the text Blake sent him asking to see the dailies. Justin sent it to his producer and Jamie and said, thoughts. Producer says, I'd say no, but check her contract first, lol. Jamie says, I was just waiting for blank to respond first. It's an absolute no for me as well. Respectfully. Not sure best way to respond, being how delicate it is. Producer says, I think you can either not respond until tomorrow, or say we need to talk to the team, or just say no, you're not comfortable with it. Jamie says, maybe we can let this be a Sony decision and how you can respond with that for now. Justin says, thank you. Spoke to blank too. I think I'm just going to say yes and send her a playlist of a bunch of good takes from different scenes that lasts for 3 to 4 days. Blank said no, lol. Producer says, we all said no when you're going to send. No, she liked the idea of a playlist. No to access to all dailies. I wasn't clear in text. Producer says, okay, copy. Makes sense. Justin says, basically send her a playlist of what I showed her agent. And then if or when she responds and says, can you send me everything, that's what I'll say I'm not comfortable with, that as I haven't seen everything. Blank believes that she will then start to edit the movie and tell me which takes to use if she has access to everything. Producer says, yes, I agree with that. And Justin says also this is exactly how the writing process started. She asked if it was okay if she could take a pass at some dialogue tweaks on the rooftop scene. Just talked to Blake, she's in good spirits and seems happy about this. Very nice conversation. Producer says good, Jamie says great to hear. After consulting internally as to how to respond, Baldoni politely pushed back, explaining that it was much too early in the editing process to share more footage. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to like and comment down below. If you didn't, feel free to leave a hate comment. I'd love to hear your opinion, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.